DC here. Hi, guys and gals. Well, little vlog at home this time. It's kind of nice, actually, because as most of you have known, I've been away all of last week, and it was like I was away 7 days. It was a great business and leisure trip in Ireland. But you know, sometimes it's just nice to be back home. Yeah. It was yesterday, what are we, already Tuesday actually, but on Sunday, as all of you know, was it Saturday? Goodness, I'm sorry about the time now, but the Orlando story. What a horrible, horrific story. And I'm not going to vlog about this. No, I'm not going to vlog about it because you've all heard about it so much now. It's overkill, but yeah, thoughts and prayers going that way for sure. No, I was going to vlog about something that might be close to one of my good YouTuber friends' heart. Taxi drivers. When I live in living over here, we have our own car, and as I walk to work or public transport is really, really good. Train stations go right into the airports and so on. So here in Switzerland it is really very, very rare that I take a taxi. But when I'm in Ireland, yeah, I do walk a lot. But I mean, I tend to take taxi, of course, more often there, depending on like going to the airport. The Dublin airport has buses or what, but it doesn't have like a train station right at the airport. And it is different. I was by watching Andy's, so Mehquig's, Mehquig, his taxi vlogs. It kind of gets me into the mood, like, you know, do I want to? How do I feel when I'm in the taxi? You know, looking at the taxi driver, how he reacts, and talking with him. And lately, especially in Ireland, I've been getting some really fun drivers. Some of them are foreigners that are over there and are just simply driving taxis. I always wonder how a foreigner gets to know the city so well. That's always something pretty impressive. But I've also had lately some Irish taxi drivers, which were really a lot of fun to chat with. One guy was a few trips back, was quite amusing, because I remember hearing Andy like having people ask him if they could put on the have him put on the radio and stuff like that. I had this taxi driver once who was, you could tell he was an opera fan, and he had these classical music radio stations, or I think it was the radio, but some classical music station, and there was an aria or something, and you could tell that if he had been alone in his taxi, he would have just went out and sung. And he like, I remember him like actually turning around back to me and saying, "Isn't this fantastic?" Of course, he was playing it a bit loud, and I mean, it was one of the times where I did actually say to him, I said, "Yeah, I do like it, but it is a bit loud." Anyway, he put it down, and we chatted. I mean, he didn't actually turn it off. I didn't ask him to turn it off, but and this time I was with someone, and we talked about sports. Yeah, you might say, you were talking about sports? Well, I mean, the guy was just going on, and I was in Cork a few days before, and there was we would pronounce it hurling, which is a local sport down in the southern part of Ireland, and in County Cork and so on, around there. And I was telling him about hurling. I don't remember how they pronounce it. Is it hurling? Or they pronounce it differently anyway. And of course, he was going on about this and that, and talking about giving me the names of the people and so on. It's a bit like if you were living in England and talking about cricket, of course. The only one that I know is Ian Botham, and that's about it, and that's years ago now. But and then of course there's the Euro that's on now. So football, soccer for you guys. the European Championships. All the European countries are getting over there, and yeah, there was a big chat about that. And of course, you have to be really careful because you could be a complete idiot if you didn't know what was going on and who was playing against who. And so, of course, when I said I was from Switzerland, it was kind of amusing because he confused Switzerland and Sweden, and Ireland was going to play against Sweden, so he was telling me, "Oh yeah, we're going to play against you guys," and so on. And then I let it pass. I mean, even I knew we weren't playing against Ireland. Now, having said that, one of the discussions that came up with one taxi driver in Cork a while back, and I ended up giving him a really good tip, actually, after that. By the way, we don't tip as much, it seems, as the people over in Canada, but that's a European thing. We were talking about Uber and how it's affecting their business. And the guy in Cork was telling, well, basically it's not affecting their business because they don't have it. One of the reasons is the insurances that taxi drivers or the taxi companies have to have. So they don't have it. Of course, they are very happy they don't have it. They're also very happy that there's no train station in Dublin Airport. Yeah. The thing is that when you talk with them, you do see a lot of the same discussions that you will hear in Andy's taxi vlogs. I think I've maybe even said that in a vlog at one time, is that depending on if I get a really friendly and chatty taxi driver, maybe one day I should take out my camera and ask if he'd agree. Maybe not. I don't know anyway. But the thing is that it's like a taxi vlog live. I mean, Andy's vlogs are live, but it's like having a taxi vlog while you're sitting in the taxi. Same issues. They're talking about some of the people that they meet and so on. And like I say, it really is quite interesting. It is one thing, though, is that when you're in a taxi, somehow very quickly you feel if you're going to have a rapport with the driver or not. I gotta say, like, one of the first things, I think it is polite in a way, one of the first things that they will ask you, of course, is, have you been in town long? Have you been in Ireland before? Stuff like that. I have noticed with one or two taxi drivers, when I say that, yeah, I come here quite regularly and I know my way around, and I'm not saying to him, I know that you're driving me in the wrong way or stuff like that. I never say things like that. It's just amusing. I've had one or two in Cork where I did realize that the guy was taking a long way around, because I have walked around there and I knew where the one-ways were and stuff like that. And you can tell. I mean, that is very rare. I mean, most of the time these people, the drivers, are a lot of fun. But there's bad apples in every barrel, to use an old expression. Yeah. Experiences with taxi drivers, good, bad. Tell me about it. It's a fun thing when you're in another country. I'll close on this one. It has nothing to do with Ireland, but when we were in Rome many, many years ago, I have never, well, I can think of one other occasion when I've been more afraid in a car. But, I mean, driving in Rome when you're in a taxi is being driven in Rome is quite an experience. What is a red light? I think it's an option that means, I guess in Rome, red means green. I don't know, anyway. I mean, we went through things that it's pretty hard to believe. Okay, I mean, I was just going on, chatting, talking about things, just to make it different. And will there be other trips soon? I'll be telling you in other vlogs. That's it. That's it. That's all. Who used to say that? That's it. That's all. Oh, yeah. As soon as I stop this video, I'll remember her name. She hasn't been on for a while. Those of you who know who I mean, tell me, because I am right now having brain freeze. DC, signing off. Take care, everybody. And tomorrow is Wednesday, hump day. Yes. Bye-bye, everybody.